everyone. Welcome to the final set of questions for the Collaboration Connection project. Today we'll be answering questions 16, 17, and 18. This is the final set of questions. If you missed any of the previous sets, make sure you check out my playlist and also my Collaborators channels, which I'll have linked below. With me today, I have Tania from 10,000 Days of Gratitude, Lindsay from Love Me a Latte, and Allison from Allie the Unicorn. Do you guys just want to get into it?
Sure.
Okay. Question 16. I live alone and been self-isolated for like the last 2 months, so I haven't really had an opportunity to be around other people. So the last time I cried in front of someone, I can't even remember, but I can remember a time where I almost started crying. It was a holiday market that I was doing in December, and we were all set up and ready to go. This was like 10 minutes before the market even started, and I was kind of in like a weird corner, and so I had nowhere to put all of my supplies. So my table mate had room behind her, so I was moving all of my extra stuff next to her table, and she sold like air plants and terrariums and a lot of glass objects. And I was putting a thing of boxes down, and I swooped over the table and knocked over her entire display of glass air plant globes. Before the market even started, I had just met this girl and I was mortified. I felt so bad. I was fighting back tears for like 2 hours. It ended up working out because she actually just recently hired me to do her logo rebrand, so I guess. But yeah, that was the last time I cried in front of someone. I mean, I shed a few tears, but I had to hold it together and it was very rough. And the last time I cried by myself was probably a week ago. I cried quite often, but it was technically in front of my cats, so does that even count? So that's my answer. Next, let's hear from Tania.
So, yes, cats are people too, so that counts. And the last time I cried, I've got the same thing going on. I live by myself, so I haven't really seen anybody. Yeah, so it was, if we could say it was somebody, you know, by Skype or by phone, then it would have been a friend of mine. And I was at the side of the road. I had to pull over. And we were talking after I'd had an argument with a family member of mine. And, you know, in this quarantine, it just sort of all got to me, and it just felt so heavy. But if we can't say somebody on the phone, then I would say the last time I cried in front of somebody was when I was being wheeled into surgery last year. And they come and get you by surprise. And there was nobody there but me. And so my family had gone home. And I was going into surgery, and yeah, I cried in front of the orderly who was taking me down. The last time I cried alone, I would say yesterday and the day before. And you know, this quarantine, I think I knew that when I got through a big chunk of work that I was working on, I kind of had this feeling, okay, I'm going to be having a meltdown pretty soon. And I've been having it because now that I'm not distracted, it's really hitting me. Yeah.
I feel that. You're just left alone with your emotions constantly right now. And I think Tania and you and I are both emotional people to begin with. So yeah. It's rough. Allison, when did you last cry in front of another person?
Most likely, I don't remember the exact time, but I can pretty much guarantee that it was in front of my housemate because I live with her. And because first year teaching has been very, very rough, at least in the fall, I was crying pretty consistently. It's gotten better here in the spring, but most likely, I want to say most likely my housemate was the last person I cried in front of. last time I cried by myself was actually earlier this week, a couple times. I got put in the friend zone and it kind of hurt.
Aww.
So yeah, I did actually have a dream though this week as well, where I woke up and I was crying. So
It's rough times. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry you got friend zone. That's rough. Lindsay?
Yeah, so I see we kind of got a trend going on. I think this question is great for the time period that we're in now. So the last time I would have cried in front of another person and by myself would have been about actually the same day. So it would have been a couple weeks ago when I was back home at that point. So now I'm back at my apartment living alone. But it would have been, when I was back home. And I think that I was really building up a good cry because throughout this whole quarantine, I haven't cried at all until that point. And I had so much pressure going on. Like I had pressure myself to get all this stuff done, and I wasn't getting as much stuff done as I wanted to get done. And I was at home and my parents were kind of at me to get all this stuff done around the house. And I was like, I'm just doing the best I can. And it's just been hard because I didn't know when my internship was going to resume, and I didn't know how my life was going to look moving forward in the future. So that was really freaking me out. And then when my mom came home and she was trying to tell me, oh, you didn't do this or that, I just got super upset. I'm like the teenage Lindsay came out. I'm like, leave me alone. And I ran upstairs and I started just bawling and just crying. So I was crying by myself for a bit, but then my mom came up and I kind of explained to her why I was feeling the way I was and why I was so upset and whatnot. And she was able to comfort me, which was nice.
That's good. I have that same issue whenever I come home. It's like, I don't live here anymore. I don't have to help you with chores.
Well, exactly. And I was trying to help. I would do the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Clean off the counters, but they were mad that I didn't do the pots and pans.
Yeah.
Something.
Like I've said before, as soon as you go home, it's like just being a teen all over again. It just comes out of you. So the next question is,
so I had to think about this. I sat and I thought about this for a while, and I thought, what in the world would I regret? And I think maybe what I would regret is just, I know I said it in my video this past week that I'm not always honest and straightforward with how I'm feeling, or toward friends or possible relationships, because I want to be perceived a certain way, and I don't want people to see me as overly emotional or needy or things like that. So I'm not always forward, and I'm very conflict averse. I don't like getting into arguments, so I will not always tell people how I actually feel about something for fear of that. So I think maybe my biggest regret would be just not speaking to some of my friends, even people I'm not friends with anymore in high school. When I saw them making unhealthy decisions, particularly with relationships, I didn't speak up about it. I didn't say anything. And that's actually something that still sort of weighs heavy on me, is that I didn't do that thing and talk to them about it, because I was afraid of maybe that the relationship would come to an end, or that there'd be an argument or a fight about it or something, or that, there was a lot of fear attached to it. So that's probably what one of my regrets would be.
it can be hard to kind of balance how you feel about the way friends are acting versus how you would act.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it can be tough because, we definitely all want what's best for people we love, but it's not always our job to decide how they're gonna go about their life. So I definitely get the struggle there. Well, I'll answer next. So I have not seen my ex's family since before the breakup, and I never got a chance to say goodbye. So I always think about reaching out to them, but at this point it's been 3 years. He's with somebody else. It's not my place to talk to them anymore, but I still think about them a lot and miss them. And so that's really rough for me to kind of grapple with that, because I was with my ex for 8 years and they were my second family, and the breakup kind of happened in a weird way where you know, it was a long distance split. So the last time I saw my ex, we met up for lunch. Like, I just never got to say goodbye to his family, and I'm always really sad about that. So that's definitely what my answer would be.
Yeah, that's hard, especially when you grow close to the family.
Yeah.
Then they become really close to you, because it's not just about your dating relationship anymore. You now have this close relationship with these other people as well.
Right. And I, you know, like I said, I don't know how much he told them. They might just think that I'm like, I just like dumped him, but that's not the whole story. So it is what it is. That's my regret. So how about you, Lindsay?
Yeah, so for this one, I was trying to think too if there was anything that I like regretted and whatnot with other people. I was thinking that over and I'm like, not really. So the only thing that I can really think of for this answer is just telling my mom just how much she means to me and how much I really love her and appreciate all that she does to me in like a detailed way. Because in passing, like I've always would say like, oh, I love you, mom, or I really appreciate that you did this for me. But it's not something I do as often as I probably should. And I haven't really expressed it in like a really big way before. And so I feel like I should definitely do that at some point for sure. So yeah, like I do tell her that I love her and I appreciate her, but probably not as much as she really deserves. She's had a really big impact on my life for sure.
Show her this video.
Yeah, I can definitely do that for sure. She sometimes watches my stuff.
Yeah.
And pop her on over to your channel.
I mean, it's something that like, it goes without saying. She knows you, you're her daughter. She knows. I mean, it's nice to be told, but it's like when you know someone so intimately, you kind of know how their brain works. And I don't think she's under any impression that you don't feel that way, but
I hope
yeah,
not.
you should tell her today. And Tania, what about you?
This is a bit tricky because of the word regret. And there are people that I should or could say things to, and I've thought about it. But if I, I'd rather, okay, I'll use one example. There's an ex, and it was a horrendous breakup. And infidelity and all sorts of things were involved. And we haven't spoken in 3 years. And I kind of feel like it would be great to let him know that I forgive him, because I'm pretty sure he probably, well, who knows if he carries guilt. But if it were me, I would. And yeah, it would be great to let him know that he's forgiven. But the reason I haven't done that is because I don't want to make an invitation for us to be friends or to open the door to him. And so, maybe the better thing would be to write a letter that he can have after I die. And I have written letters to him to that effect. So maybe I'll just pop one in an envelope and give it to the person who I know will be taking care of things. Because, yeah, I don't, there's lots of things that I would like to say to people, but there are reasons why I haven't said it. If there was anything I should say, I have said.
I totally agree with that. That's pretty much exactly where I am. And it's been 3 years for me too. So I feel you.
Yeah.
It just becomes like, there's like a whole other level of what could be the burden that you add to their life by opening things up like that,
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, sometimes as hard as it is, it's better to just let it be.
Exactly.
It's a hard life lesson. And I'm someone that can be very emotional, and like, I've written many a letter in my day, but it just doesn't always hit the same way for other people. And it's just something that you have to kind of deal with on your own sometimes. And that's really rough.
Yeah, so I'm kind of answering this question just assuming that either myself or one of my loved ones has a cell phone on them, so we could call 911, because that would be kind of the priority. Other than that, I think I would choose to save my laptop just because it has so many important documents on it. It has like memories, you know, family photos, friend photos, pet photos on it. I have a lot of my career-based documents on it. And I also just have some of my old like writing and poetry, you know, more kind of memory type things on it. So I definitely would want to save that because I haven't even backed up any of those documents. I really should at some point. But yeah, that's what I would choose for this answer.
I'm in agreement.
At the same time that you tell your mom, maybe back up your hard drive.
Yeah.
Yes, I need to do that really.
Thank you, Lindsay. So Tania, do you want to go next?
Sure. I think there's a lot of things that come to mind on this question, like, you know, saving my writing or saving my artwork. But I kind of feel like I'm still here. I can recreate or I can create again. And I'm so not materialistic that actually I don't really care about things, except the one thing I can think I would go back for, assuming I have my passport in my handbag like I always do, is photographs. I have a box of family photographs, and that's what I would go back and get, because some of the people in those photographs are no longer here. And that's kind of what I've got left of them.
Yeah. You got to scan them. That's what my sister did after my grandparents passed away. She took the job of scanning hundreds of old photos.
Good idea.
So now they're at least copied somewhere. What about you, Allison?
What I would actually do is I would probably grab, assuming I had my cell phone, like, because originally I'm like, I'm basic, I would grab my phone. But assuming I had my phone or somebody else had their phone, I would actually probably grab my wallet. And the reason for that is because it has like my driver's license in it. It has like, you know, cards in it. If there's an emergency, you know, that is an emergency, you know, we still have access to those things because those are important to have on you. So I probably would grab my wallet, just so there's sort of that cushion place. Yeah.
Dang, now I don't know what, you brought up a good point. So I actually, a few months ago, bought like a fire safe pouch where I put like my passport and my birth certificate and my social security card and all that. So God forbid if there is a fire, hopefully that works and it's protected and I would probably grab I was going to say laptop, but now that I'm thinking of it, I would probably grab my hard drive because I have old stuff that's no longer on my laptop. And, you know, like Lindsay said, all my memories are on there, and there's stuff saved randomly on the internet, but it would be hard to kind of go through and remember where everything is, and there's lots that isn't on there. So yeah, I would save my hard drive. It's got those scanned grandparents photos that I was just talking about on there. Got all my photos since probably high school, all my artwork projects, career stuff. So that's what I would choose. Lindsay had to step out for a service maintenance situation, but it's perfect timing because we just finished. If you haven't yet checked out my collaborators channels with all the previous sets of questions and the group calls, Allison did the first set. Lindsay that just left, she did the previous group call. And Tania has been posting all of the bonus questions. There will be another bonus question on Thursday. The final follow-up project wrap-up will be over on Tania's channel, 10,000 Days of Gratitude, where we're going to talk about how it went, all that stuff. Can't believe this project is over. Time doesn't mean anything anymore. So thanks for following along. I hope you learned some interesting things and thought about these questions yourself. and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did. I know I had a great time getting to know everyone. So thanks for watching. Bye.